All right, welcome back, everyone. Today we're here to talk about everything credit inquiries. So, if you've been wondering about credit inquiries, you've seen them on your credit report, and you're wondering what are these things on my credit report and how do they affect me? How do they affect my credit? What can I do to improve inquiries? And how can I maximize off of my credit inquiries? You're in the right place. So, first off, let's start off with what is a credit inquiry? A credit inquiry is a way of lenders notifying each other through your credit report that you are, in fact, applying or searching for credit. So that's all it is. A credit inquiry it just means that you applied for credit through that institution and they're going to let other institutions know that you applied for credit with them. So now, what types of credit inquiries are there? There's two main types of credit inquiries. The first type of credit inquiry that you're going to encounter is called a hard inquiry. A hard inquiry is a credit inquiry that actually will appear on your credit report, and it means that you have applied for credit with that institution and they're putting it on your credit report to notify other institutions. The other type is a soft inquiry. This is typically used for pre-qualifications or pre-approvals. There are instances where companies may approve you for credit using a soft inquiry, but most companies will not. These inquiries will not appear on your credit report. However, they may appear in a hidden section that will just have soft inquiries there to allow you to know that someone has checked your credit report, even though it does not show a application for credit. Now, with that being said, now we're going to get a little bit more into how does this system work. So typically when you apply for credit, you get a single pull. And a single pull basically means that they're going to pull your credit from one of your credit bureaus. So there's three credit bureaus. You have Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. And these are going to be your three main personal credit bureaus. So typically when you apply for credit, the bank chooses one of those bureaus and they say, okay, we're going to pull from TransUnion today or Experian today. And that's how we're going to determine whether or not we're going to approve you for this loan. Now, there are instances where certain banks will do what is called a double pull. A double pull is when the bank decides that they're going to pull two of your credit bureaus instead of one to cross-check information to have further ensured themselves that you are a worthy candidate. Next, let's go ahead and talk about tri-pulls. Tri-pulls are very unique and typically only occur when you're either applying for credit cards through conservative lenders like Capital One. Certain banks will use them for large auto loans, and they're notoriously known to be used during mortgages. A tri-pull is where they're going to pull all three of your credit bureaus. And by them pulling all three of your credit bureaus, they're going to check all three and cross-check the information to see if any information may be updated on one bureau and not on the other, to see if you may have any collections that are on one bureau and not on the other. And that allows them to get a full scope of your credit from all three bureaus before they make a lending decision. So tri-pulls are used by typically conservative lenders and used typically for larger loans. So the next thing that we're going to go ahead and get into talking about, of course, is credit seeking. So whenever we talk about a credit inquiry, we have to talk about this next concept, which is credit seeking. And credit seeking is basically when you go out and you start seeking credit or you start applying for credit in multiple places. So that's why it's called credit seeking. And you don't want to do this often, because when you go out and you apply for a bunch of credit and whether or not you get approved, those inquiries show up on your credit report. Now, when those inquiries show up on your credit report, one thing about them is they impact another FICO score that you have separate from your traditional FICO score, which is your FICO risk score. Your FICO risk score tells the bank, based upon how much credit you've applied for recently, how likely you are to have a financial crisis, meaning you have so much money in available credit that you are likely to go into crisis or crash yourself. You're going to spend that money up because you've applied for so much money. So it's very important that you pay attention to your FICO risk score as well, and don't allow yourself to get a lot of credit inquiries and be credit seeking, because if you do so, your FICO risk score will raise up and then you will not be able to get any approvals. The next thing that inquiries affect, of course, is your APR. So your interest rates on loans, your loan terms in general, are going to be affected by your credit inquiries. A difference between a 5% interest rate and a 18% interest rate could be when was the last time you applied for a credit card or a loan. Just that simple. How many inquiries you have and how recent those inquiries are is going to gravely impact your interest rates that you get on the cards that you do get approved for. So be careful when you're applying for credit and be cognizant of that. The next thing, of course, that inquiries affect is approvals. If that FICO risk score drops and the banks see you as a risk, they will not approve you. It does not matter if you have a 800 credit score. If you have multiple inquiries in succession, the bank is going to look at that and say, no, we are not going to approve this person because they're searching for credit because they're going through a financial crisis, and that will get you an instant denial. And lastly, I wanted to talk about something that is near and dear to my heart because it's happened to me before for not having this knowledge. So I had to share this knowledge with you. Your bonus tip for the day, you guys, is be aware of banks that shotgun out inquiries. Typically, this is not going to be a bank thing, but rather a lender thing. So when you finance cars, do not finance at the dealership, finance at the bank. When you're searching for a loan, do not go to a website for loans. Go to a bank and apply for your loan directly with the bank, because otherwise what these companies are doing is they're shooting your application out to multiple banks, and in doing so, they earn back some form of referral or commission throughout the duration of the loan, and those banks will give them different interest rates depending on your credit profile. However, it will destroy your credit profile because they will put multiple inquiries on there. The average that I've seen for people who go car shopping is anywhere between 3 and 30 inquiries put on your credit report within a matter of seconds due to them shotgunning out your credit to every single bank until they get what they want. So, as always, with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you all in the next one.